Hey YouTube, I'm Patrick and welcome to DadMakes. I'm starting this channel as a way to motivate myself and share things I'm passionate about, specifically anything to do with making, woodworking. I'm into music, so guitars, maybe try to mix some of that with the woodworking, into motorcycles, bicycles, anything on two wheels, anything with anything mechanical. I'm a tinkerer, so this is just a way to sort of get some of my passion out there. A little bit about myself. I live in the Midwest. I have two kids, a 3-year-old daughter and a 4-month-old son. Some of the future videos you might see on this channel will be project videos and updates, some show and tell of previous projects, and some product reviews. I thought of a good first video would be a shop tour. This is my tiny one-car workshop that also stores a bunch of your typical garage stuff. I've had to make some pretty conscious decisions regarding space issues, and it's still a work in progress, but I think I've made some pretty interesting solutions. I'm always looking for ways to improve the functionality of the space or create more efficient storage solutions. So I'm gonna switch the video and give you a tour of the shop. Okay, starting at the bench, which is actually where I spend most of my time here in the garage. The bench itself is pretty basic. I built it several years ago. You can find a lot of these designs online. It's mostly 2x4 and OSB or plywood. I've added a couple of modifications over the years that I think have increased the functionality. I'm still not quite satisfied with it, and we'll probably rebuild it in the future to something a little more substantial. Some of the additions I've made is obviously the Irwin vise, and I added some dog holes to help with some material holding, and then the just the big box door, some door sliding locks, which are working as a plane stop, so I can sandwich a board between that Craig bench dog, the adjustable bench dog, and then these, and it works all right. But again, it's not exactly where I want it to be. Below the bench, I have just my dust collection, which is just a portable shop vac, some tool storage, and then on the right there is my 6-inch Craftsman benchtop joiner. I used to have a much larger joiner. It was still only 6-inch width, but it was more of a stationary tool, and I couldn't afford the space here in the small shop, so I had to swap it out for something a little bit smaller that I can move in and out. It's a pretty heavy beast though, so it's not always fun to pick up and get it when I need to use it, but it's the best I can do right now. At the back of the workbench is my French cleat wall, which is a fairly recent addition during the pandemic here. I've had a little more opportunity since I'm working from home now to spend some lunchtime in the shop and early morning time in the shop. So this has been kind of my latest addition to some shop organization. I have my iPad French cleat stand, which is mostly my motivation for getting out here, is watching some, either Adam Savage's Tested channel or Samurai Carpenter or some various other channels that I try to keep up on. The Chisel Storage, again, I think has worked out pretty well. Filled it up pretty good, but I'm trying to leave myself some extra spaces so I can add some more cool tools. And then finally, I have my joiner's mallet, which I've also added made some storage for that. I still have quite a bit more wall space to add some additional tools, and I need to figure out what's going to go up there. Now, those of you with a keen eye may have noticed the router plane down here. This is actually my latest addition. I found this on Facebook Marketplace. This is the Veritas large router plane. I'm pretty excited I was able to find this. So I haven't had too much time to get into it yet, but I'm excited to get to test that out. Okay, moving on. To the left of the workbench is a storage area for some of my larger wood stock. This is items that I still can. I don't necessarily isn't slated for a project yet, but I can't bear to get rid of it. It's large enough that I can get some use out of it. I have just some general tool storage along the shelving, and then I have my shelving unit, which has got some various things on it. So there's, again, not leaving any spare square foot left, unused for storage. I got my toolbox kind of front and center, and then below that is some smaller storage for some smaller wood, and then below that is my sliding compound miter saw, as well as some of my more portable saw and hammer drill. To the left side of that, I actually have a unfinished shop bench project that I'm still working on finishing, and some other kind of typical garage storage up here, some garden stuff, some bike racks and things like that. But this is actually my my latest big tool addition, which is my Excelsior lathe I got from Rockler, and that was my birthday present last year. So I've turned a few things on it. I'm hoping to get a little more experience on it as the weather gets a little bit warmer. So hopefully that'll be some cool videos coming up here. One thing you might have noticed is this practice joinery that I actually did through Maker's Mob and Samurai Carpenter, which I'd highly recommend if you're interested in learning about some hand tool joinery. It was a pretty cool course. I think it's over 8 weeks, and you can join it at the Maker's Mob website. I think it's makersmob.com. But in front of the shelving unit is this portable work table, stand, workbench, whatever you want to call it, and it actually houses my 12-inch DeWalt lunchbox planer. And then when I'm planing and joining, I actually move the 6-inch portable joiner. I put that on top of the table here, so I sort of have a process where I can join on top, and then I can move straight to the planer without much hassle. This doubles as storage, so I've added a hinge, and this is where I store all my sanding and sharpening tools. So again, just trying to make do with as much storage as I can in the space. Rotating around, my table saw is the Delta 36725. Been really happy with it, apart from the fact that it's pretty massive, but coming from kind of a cheap Craftsman Evolve contractor saw, this thing's amazing. So it's on wheels, which is really nice. It's built into it. This is a fairly old model now. I bought it used off of Facebook Marketplace, but I think the new one they carry it at Lowe's still has the mobile base on it. So basically, I just engage the base and I swing it around so that it faces outside, and it works for me, and it kind of tucks away and stays out of the way. And I'm actually working through milling up some of the some spare lumber that I have. This is sycamore. That's an offcut from a live edge dining table that I have upstairs. And then this is some old reclaimed pine out of an old 100-year-old house here where I live. And I'm actually turning this into a guitar body. I'm going to do a Telecaster style body. I think I actually might do an Esquire, which is a single pickup, just for ease of wiring, but that'll be a project that I'll show here on the channel. So the left of the table saw is my wife's garden bench that actually she and a friend of hers made out of some salvage pallets. And so again, like I said, we got some pretty standard garage stuff in here. I got actually my lawnmower's tucked back there. That'll have to come out now that it's getting warmer. I have sheet goods storage tucked behind the ladder there against the wall, just again using whatever spare inch I got in here. And then this is my 1975 Honda Cb550. This is another just a little tinkering toy of mine. I've always wanted a vintage car or motorcycle, and maybe 4 or 5 years ago I found this, and I love it. Tucked up behind the motorcycle, I got a charging station for all my various chargers for all the different tools, and kind of a nice way to keep them always ready to go but out of the way. And then above the motorcycle I have, again, more storage. Some of it's tools, some of it's sporting goods. I have some parts that I'm going to put on the motorcycle. This might be another project video, just adding some bar end mirrors, kind of keeping with the cafe aesthetic. But again, more storage, because that's where, that's what we're short of here. So moving on from the shelving there, it's the door that goes into my house. And to the left of that, and what ultimately is to the right of the workbench, is some bike storage. There's some upholstery foam from a previous project I'll show you on a show and tell. Below that is some additional bike stuff. My daughter's pink Barbie Jeep Power Wheel thing. There's actually this thing called a Micro Monkey bike, which is pretty funny. It's a small bike, but it's meant for an adult to ride, and you look pretty ridiculous, but you get a lot of smiles. I also have, if you're spotting a Ryobi box over there, that's another product I just bought that I'll do a demo and a review on that here in the future. Okay, so back to the workbench. That's it. That's the tiny one-car workshop / garage storage shed, or whatever you want to call it. So hopefully this was useful or entertaining to those of you out there who also have a very small workshop, whether it's an entire single-car garage, or you have a standard 2-car garage and you're just working out of the corner because you got a bunch of other stuff you got to store in there. And maybe this will be a little inspiration for how you can use your space. And if you saw something here you think I should do something differently, or you have some suggestions, feel free to leave them in the comments and I'll be looking out for those. So thank you very much for watching, and have a good day.